My family and I want nothing to do with you. You're a Nazi promoter. You're the modern-day David Duke. I debate people with whom I disagree for a living, who are a lot smarter than you, but for whom I have some respect. I'm also disappointed in TPUSA that continues to platform you.
Haven't we spent the last few years condemning deacons at Woke United Methodist for this kind of rhetoric? Haven't we spent the last few years discrediting the mainstream media for falsely labeling Americans as Nazis or their personal favorite, fascist? You know, most of the indoctrinated that use the word fascist, they have no idea what the hell it means. They think fascism is a procedure their plastic surgeon will give them after they finish Botox and right before they remove those pesky facial whiskers. Isn't this the kind of rhetoric that got Charlie Kirk killed? Aren't these the same lies, the same words that got the Trumpers shot not once, but twice? I'm just struggling to understand this ongoing civil war in conservative media. Supposedly, both sides want America first. Yet, for some reason, both sides are obsessively fighting over Israel? A country that is located 6,000 miles away. I could probably get to the damn moon faster than I could get to Israel. Yet for some reason, this tiny country, this country that I believe is around the same size as New Jersey, it's located halfway across the world. The arguments over Israel are splitting the conservative movement and could have devastating consequences for America. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. I did not come up with the title for this video. This title actually came directly from a headline from the National Review. Tucker Carlson is tearing apart the conservative movement. You know, this week, I have spent more time than I usually do watching Tucker Carlson. Do I agree with everything he says? No. Do I think he was incredibly soft while interviewing Nick Fuentes? Yes. Do I have a problem with Tucker Carlson asking questions about Israel? Not really. That doesn't mean I agree with his stance on Israel. Me personally, I think we should be supportive of Israel as long as we are taken care of here in America first. Israel is our only ally in the Middle East. Well, Casey, what about Qatar? What about Turkey? The only turkey I trust is the turkey my mom will be making here in a couple of weeks for Thanksgiving. And I damn sure don't trust Qatar. But the Israelis, they have proven countless times that they are more than capable of taking care of and defending themselves. The economy in Israel is very strong. Their national debt is only $337 billion. Our national debt is over $38 trillion. Our budget deficit for 2025 alone is 6 times larger than Israel's national debt. So, while I don't agree with everything Tucker Carlson says about Israel, I can at least understand why he asks questions. I don't have to agree with him to understand where he's coming from. What I don't understand is why we continue to fight over Israel when we have plenty of enemies and plenty of problems here at home. I want you to think about what the conservative movement has accomplished just in the last 4 years. 4 years ago, the woke fungus was spreading across America. Our sports leagues were embracing mythical racism. Democrats were defending dudes invading women's sports. The southern border was spread wider than the Bruce Caboose after a 3-day weekend at the Butt Bongo Festival. Globally, there was declining trust in America because we had a president who was literally asleep on the job. Have you noticed we don't hear about Tran Dan anymore? Have you noticed that we rarely hear about mythical racism? When is the last time you heard anything about the southern border? From 2021 through 2024, the mainstream media had cameras showing Guatemalan families crossing the border 24 hours a day. Today, the only thing cameras are capturing are squirrels crossing the southern border to get a few nuts. Conservatives not only defeated the woke movement, we completely dismantled it. How did we do that? We were united. Unfortunately, that's just no longer the case. Right now, there is a serious divide in the conservative movement. And this divide is happening, I think, at the worst possible time. I'm not the only one questioning why we're divided. I'm not the only one questioning why we are labeling each other as Nazis. Earlier this week, Megyn Kelly, she absolutely unloaded on Mark Levin. Watch for yourself.
Then we have, on the fascistic, neo-Nazi, radical right, these people are not America first.
Fascistic, neo-Nazi, radical right. That is no way to be talking about Tucker. It's too much. It's too far. It's dangerous. And honestly, like, I know Tucker and Ben both, they are both under serious threats. This is a very volatile time. I don't like to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm just saying, I know both of them are under serious threats. So just fucking put a lid on it, fucking Mark Levin, because I guarantee you, the wrong people listen to that, and we could have another powder keg on our hands, and you don't want that. You don't want that on your conscience. Just have a debate like a man on principle. And why don't you show up at the Turning Point event and debate him? Just debate him. That would be so good for this conservative movement you claim to love so much. You know who's at the Turning Point events? Future conservatives and current conservatives, young people. Young people. This would be a chance for you to influence somebody under the age of 70.
I understand why Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro are asking questions about Tucker Carlson. I mean, he did seem to make a drastic shift out of nowhere. But like I keep saying, we have much bigger problems than Tucker Carlson and his views on Israel. You know what I'm not worried about with Tucker Carlson? I'm not worried about him trying to silence me. I'm not worried about him trying to harm me. Hell, physically speaking, Tucker Carlson is harmless. I think even he would admit that he would run away from a fight. What I am worried about is the devastating consequences that this civil war, for lack of a better term, in the conservative movement could have on the country. Right now, the Democrats are engaged in a civil war too. On one side, you got Gabby Newsom and Shamu Pritzker, Charles Schumer. You have establishment Democrats who are probably more than likely corrupt. You also have old school Democrats, what I would call real Democrats, guys like John Fetterman, Josh Shapiro, Bill Maher. Then you got the radical left, which used to be underground. It used to be powerless. Now, the radical left has damn near taken over the Democratic Party. 12 months ago, if I told you an Islamist would be the next mayor of New York City, you wouldn't have believed me. After 9/11, if I told you Islamists would hold prominent positions in Congress, I would have been labeled a conspiracy theorist. We have American cities resembling third world countries. We have communists like AOC LGBT being elevated as the new face of the Democratic Party. Well, Casey Alexandria is not a communist. She's a democratic socialist. Yeah, there is no difference. According to Karl Marx, one of the many deities at Woke United Methodist, according to Karl, socialism is like the equivalent of a dirt road. You clear a path through the woods, you flatten the dirt so it's passable. Eventually, when you have enough money, you pave the road. Communism is the paved road, and the money used to pay for it comes from other people, and those other people are you and me. Like I told you guys the other day, the Democrats are at a crossroads, and it looks like they are choosing the path of communism. The only thing that's going to stop them is an alternative option. How can we offer an alternative when we're constantly fighting with each other? You tell me what's more important, fighting over the conflict in Gaza, which seems to be completely one-sided. Palestine going into that war looked like an armless man that got into the ring with prime Mike Tyson. Should we be arguing about that? Or should we be focused on the rise of communism here in America? Should we spend another year talking about Ukraine? Or should we be focused on the rise of Islam here in America? You know, the vast majority of people who voted for Zohran Mamdani in New York City, they don't identify as communist or democratic socialist. But the reason they voted for Zorro is because he represented something different. He spoke in a language that young people understood. And if we're not careful, it's a language that young people across the country could understand. For the first time ever, the average first-time home buyer here in America is going to be 40 years old. Now, I'm 40. I bought my first home 14 years ago. My house has more than doubled its value, with most of that increase coming in the last 4 years. When I was 19 years old, I bought a 99 Ford Explorer with around 40,000 miles on it for less than $10,000. Bought the car in the fall of 2003. A 4-year-old car, around 40,000 miles, less than 10 grand. 2 years ago, I bought a 2018 4Runner with around 45,000 miles on it. I paid over $50,000. One of the biggest problems in America, wages for the most part have remained stagnant while the price of everything else has drastically increased. If I wasn't incredibly blessed to have this audience here on YouTube, if I was still working at my old job, I would be struggling. And my mortgage is next to nothing because I bought the house 14 years ago. Imagine how a 25-year-old kid feels. They have been told all their lives that hard work pays off. They have been lied to, like my generation was. They were told that an overpriced college education was the key to success. They're working 50, 60 hours a week, and they're living paycheck to paycheck. And in their eyes, there is no relief in sight. Then, and this is how it always happens, a communist seizes the opportunity. Communism is ready and willing to step in and offer a solution. Most of these young people, they have no idea what communism actually is. They just know that in their eyes, the current system isn't working. The only way to stop it is to offer a better solution. Affordable housing, affordable health care, decrease college tuition, do something about student loans. The only way to provide the solution or even come up with a solution is for conservatives to be united against the communists. And it's impossible to be united when we are labeling each other as Nazis and fighting over Israel. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.